Hey guys, welcome to the channel, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about an aloe vera plant. Now this is actually a medicinal aloe, and you can see clumps of fleshy green leaves are filled with sap that heals cuts and burns. And you feed it once a month during growing season. Oop, drop that. And you water, allow soil to dry between thorough waterings, and then the soil is gritty, sharply drained soil. Harmful if eaten. So this kind of aloe vera you can't really eat, but it's for medical use. Now, what I want to talk about today is actually whenever you have a plant like this big, you can kind of see the size is kind of really all over the place. Sometimes it sprouts a child aloe vera, and you can see this little baby one kind of sprouting right here. Now, about this height, it's about, I think, 4 or 5 inches, and this is the time you can actually pull it out and plant it somewhere else. So I'm going to show you guys what to do with this little baby plant. And also, I have another aloe vera right here, and you can see there's another baby child plant coming out, but that one's a little too small to pull it out. So let's work with this one over here and try to put it somewhere else that we can use and have it grow into a bigger plant. So I decided to take this aloe vera plant outside because I'm going to try to take the little baby plant out, and I might make a mess inside the house, so I took it out here in the garden, and it'll be a little bit easier to kind of take it out without making too much of a mess. So the first thing I'm going to try to do is use my fingers to kind of move the dirt around and try to pull the aloe vera plant out of the dirt. I don't want to use like tools because I might damage the roots and stuff like that, but I think this is probably the best way to kind of be gentle, and I think they're pretty resilient, but it's good to just kind of be careful with baby plants because they might be very sensitive to like really tough, I guess, trying to pull it really hard or something. You might break some little roots since it's still like small and stuff like that. But just kind of dig over here, try to do it with one hand and record at the same time to show you guys, but try to move away the dirt so that I can kind of see where the root is. And I think I see a root right here. You can see right there's like a little root right there, and I bet you there's more roots somewhere going around here. So I'm gonna keep on looking around, see if it's loose. Let's see. Trying to still be gentle about it. See if I can pull up on it a little bit to see how much I can get out of it. It's pretty tight on there. I don't want to damage it too much, so I'm gonna keep on digging right here. Bear with me because this is gonna be my first time trying to pull it out of the mother plant. I know I've done it in the past, but I can't really remember how much time I took, and maybe it wasn't as hard as trying to dig out right now. But I just don't want to use tools to mess up the plant and damage the roots. So I'm going to keep on. I can feel some of the roots down here. I kind of feel like it's a little bit loose. So, you know, if you don't like to touch the dirt, you can probably wear gloves if you're not really into getting your hands dirty. But you know, sometimes the feeling of holding, like touching the dirt, is really unique. And I mean, it's not really, it's wet right now. It's not wet over here, so it's okay. So try to keep on digging there. Try to get loose. See if I can get it over here. Show you guys what it looks like. Well, it's still pretty tight, so I'm gonna pause the video and make sure I am a little bit more gentle with it, and I'll show you guys the result of taking it out. But like I said, I think I'm gonna take some time to kind of dig it out and show you guys how it looks like after I pull it out. So as you can see, I was able to get the little baby plant out of the pot. You can kind of see the roots right here. Not many roots. I think the main one was this big part that was kind of stuck, and when I pulled it, I think I did break the end of it, but there's still some other roots right here, and it should be able to be fine because there's enough roots for it to gather the nutrients and water. But this is how the aloe vera plant, or the baby one, looks like compared to the bigger one. And let me see if I can move back and let you guys kind of see the comparison. You know, this one's actually a good size. I forgot how tall this is. Could be about like 6 to 7 inches already, and a couple of leaves already, so it's pretty healthy, and it looks like the roots are pretty healthy too. You know, you want to make sure that it's kind of this kind of color, the goldish kind of yellow, fresh roots. And if it's black, it means it's like kind of getting overwatered. So normally I keep like this kind of sand and dirt mixture for the plant, and it's, you know, it's very what do you call it, it likes dry kind of conditions, so I only water it once a week, and just enough water for it. So these plants do pretty well, and they're pretty tough at it. But let's work with the baby one, and I have something that I'm going to put it in, and I'll show you guys the I guess container, or whatever you want to call it, that I'm going to put it in. So let's move on to the next step. So the product I'm going to put the baby aloe plant into is going to be this Back to the Roots self-watering grow kit, and I've had pretty much good success with this. I have another one that I'll show you later that I've had for about 3 years, but I wanted to show you guys how I'm going to set it all up. And normally you could put this in another pot with like sand, soil mixture, but I'll tell you why I like using this one. It's very unique, and it's pretty simple to use. It's, you know, it says self-watering, so I'll show you guys all the little things about this little product. And if you can't find it like in your local stores, I have a product link in my video description if you want to grab it off of Amazon, and you can check it out yourself. But let's move on to like the description of this product. So a little overview of this product. It says it all on the side of the box, and it's mainly made for succulents and cacti. And you know, aloe vera is a cacti, if you didn't know. You can kind of see, almost looks like the picture here in the plant looks like in the picture. And you know, in the description it says it's a frosted glass planter, suitable planter, sustainable planter, looks great and lasts for years. Now you gotta be careful, it is glass, so you could break it if you're not careful, and you drop it and stuff like that. And let's see, number 2, it has an inner grow pot. It's a reusable pot that holds our premium grow medium for your plants to take root in, and it's going to be like these rocks and stuff. I'll show you guys when I open up the box and show you guys. And number 3, it's a 16-ounce reservoir, enough capacity for weeks of worry-free watering. So I don't fill it all the way, you know, it says 16 ounce, but I just feel like kind of halfway, like it's shown in the description. But we'll see how it looks like when I do the process of putting this together. And it has a self-watering wick system where water automatically moves up the wick as your plant needs it. So I really like that concept where it's not soaking the roots with a lot of water. It just goes up there whenever the roots need it. But let's open it up and show you guys what's in the package. So in the package, it comes with various couple things. They got the instruction little card right here, really good information. I'll show you guys like what they're talking about and what you need to do to start it off. And here's the frosted glass jar. So it looks like a mason jar with like a lid with the opening open for the plant. And then the medium that they're talking about, it looks like a lava rock. Maybe it's something unique, but I feel like it's almost like lava rock style kind of medium. And then here's that wicking thread, how do you want to say it, rope. It almost feels like a really thick shoelace and stuff. And here's the basket that you hold the plant itself. But let's go to the instructions, and it, you know, it shows you what's included, and then it tells you what kind of plant you're going to put. Like you can put succulents, or you know, my aloe vera plant that I have. And then it will show you like the things that you need to do initially. And it's first you have to actually do a dry transplant, so you're not actually going to put any water at the very beginning. And you know, you take the succulent or any plant out, which that's what I did already. It says give your roots a haircut and trim your long roots down to 2 inches. So and also remove any dark or blackened roots. So I don't have any dark or blackened roots, but I think the roots over here is pretty long. The main one is really long, so I may have to really trim that down. You can kind of see it's pretty long compared to the basket, and I'm gonna have to trim it down so it'll fit in the basket. And then I guess after that, you hold the plant in the pot, the little basket right here, and then you add the median, the rocks. So let's trim the roots really quick and can start to the next part where you put in the median for the plant. You can see I'm trying to like test fit it into the basket. It doesn't really sit in the center, so I'm trying to figure out what I can do to get it sit more in the center. I don't want to cut too much of the main root, but I may have to. I mean, these are more flexible where I can move it. This one's a little bit more tougher, so hopefully I can trim it without hurting it too much. But let's keep on seeing if I can get it down just a little bit more so that it can center itself. I think it's kind of working a little bit, not very perfect, but kind of see if I can get it, trim it down a little bit more. So that's a little bit more centered. You can hear the thunder in the background. I'm actually trying to record outside on a cloudy day, and it's sprinkling, but let's see if I can get it to be done before it starts really raining and stuff like that. But you can hear the thunder in the background. So kind of getting hard to get it in the center, so I think I'm gonna cut it a little bit more. I mean, since it already has some of these other roots, it should be fine. So yeah, I think I can hold it in the middle and put in the rocks. So let's open the median that they have. Trying to open it up more. Now normally you put in all the median so that it fills it all up. It actually absorbs water and holds it and stuff like that for the plant. So let's try to move the roots around evenly, so it's kind of, let's try to move some of this. They're all gathering together on one side. So let's see if I can get it down centered. And then I'm gonna put in the rocks, or I guess median. They don't call it rocks in the instructions. It's very interesting. Trying to get all that, and you can kind of see it. And you can move the median around to kind of make it more balanced and stuff like that. It's very cool. You can almost seems like a cereal and stuff like that, but yep, you can kind of see it now. It's sitting pretty well by itself now. So that's how it looks like. And you know what, I forgot, I was supposed to put this on the bottom of the basket before I put everything. So let's try to do that. Luckily that this is not too messy and it's just little rocks and stuff. I think I'm gonna try to put it over here back in the bag before instead of leaving it all on the ground. Be easier to put back. But see, sometimes working too quickly you make a kind of little mistake and forget something. But I mean, this is just how it goes whenever you're doing gardening, and you just learn from it. And you can kind of see there's some holes, so you just find a hole where you can and you try to poke it through. This rope is pretty thick, so it's gonna be interesting trying to see if I can do it with my fingers. If it doesn't work, I guess you could kind of get something like here, let me try to use my scissors, and actually I can poke this down here. I mean, a pencil probably would work, or a little screwdriver. So I was able to thread one, so you can kind of see that. And you want to go across the other side to make it even. You don't want to put it like somewhere in a, like really close by. But oh, this one actually was able to push through automatically. And then you want to like pull tight and try to make it even, if you best you can. So oh, it's almost like making you're tying your shoes and stuff like that. So let's get back to trying to put this back into the pot or the little basket. I'll move this around really quick. Feels like it's gonna start raining really hard pretty soon, so see if I can do this quickly and get this plant centered. So yep, it's kind of pretty easy to do that, and that's how it looks like with everything. And it says to leave it dry for like a day, and then a day or two, and then you add water later on. So let's do that, and we'll get back to adding water in the day 3 of this step for this self-watering grow kit. Now that 2 days has passed of this aloe vera in the little basket airing out, they want you to air it out so that if there's any moisture or anything, they don't want it to rot or kind of contaminate the I guess the median, the rocks and stuff like that. But after 2 days, it still looks like the aloe vera is doing well. And then the next step is actually they want you to rinse the basket with the median and kind of get any debris out that's kind of like sitting around. So I'm just gonna gently kind of go around and just rinse out any I guess they just don't want the little sand or random pieces of stuff that they don't want in there. So I'm just gonna rinse it around a little bit, and I think that's good. So let's move on to the next step, putting it in the jar. So here is the jar, and then here's the basket with the aloe vera plant. So I'm gonna insert in the jar, kind of like put it right there. And then actually there's that lid that came with it. It's an open top, kind of looks like a mason jar style lid. And then let's see if I can slip it over the aloe vera plant. So you get it around it, and then you just kind of twist it on there. And it actually moves the basket around. So you want to try to, if you want to center it where you want it, I'm trying to center it where it has the back to the roots facing the front. So I'm just gonna kind of tighten it right there. And then after it's tightened, they say to fill it up to like about 1 inch below the basket. I fill it up around halfway. You can, I mean, I feel like it's pretty good around this area is where the fluid, I mean the water level is. So I'm just gonna open up the faucet and start filling it up. Okay, so you can kind of see it. It's halfway in the jar, and you can see the I guess the rope that wicks up the water is immersed into the water. So that's how this whole setup is for adding the water to the aloe vera plant. And this step is pretty much complete. All you have to do is set this jar onto like a windowsill right by the sun, not directly, but like kind of filtered. And that's how it starts growing from just sitting out on the ledge. So it's pretty simple. I really like this jar, and it's kind of a cool way to display your little aloe vera plant or any kind of succulent that you want to put in there. Now I have this back to the roots jar with an aloe plant, and actually this is one of the babies that came out of the main mother plant that I showed earlier in the video. And this has been sitting in this mason jar style planter for about, I think, 3 years. Now for this style, like I said, if you want to keep it small as a aloe plant that's kind of like for decoration, putting it in one of these jars with like water and you know, with that rope and stuff like that where it just siphons water, it kind of slows down the growth of the aloe plant. So if you're wanting to like kind of stunt the growth and not grow it for very big purposes and it's more decorations, then putting it in one of these jars is kind of cool because it just keeps it small and kind of, you know, it'll stay alive. I mean, you can see this plant for like 3 years. It takes a long time before it grows like a little sprout of a leaf. And you can see this one's actually growing another little leaf coming out right here. But This is very easy to take care of. Like I said earlier, where you only change the water every month. You just take out this whole thing and just dump out the water and let the plant just sit. A couple of days if you want to. It doesn't really hurt because aloe veras are more like drought tolerant. So that's just an example of a aloe plant sitting in one of these jars for 3 years. So if you really want a smaller aloe vera plant, then this is kind of the way to go with one of these mason jars. And Back to the Roots has this kind of mason jar for kind of succulents and aloe veras. So just wanted to show you guys how it looks like after 3 years of this plant. This is how it looks like. So in conclusion, this Back to the Roots self-watering kit, I really like it. I've had a lot of success with it, and it's very cool how it just kind of self-waters the plant, and you don't have to really have to worry about it. And speaking of like future, what do you do with it, like in the future? Usually you can leave it just sitting next to the windowsill by the light, and for about a month. And I usually kind of take off this part, take the basket out, and pour out the water, and then actually let the basket just sit somewhere and let it kind of air dry. And I usually leave it for like a couple of days. I've even tried for like a week. Aloe vera plants are pretty resilient, and they're more like a desert-like plant. So I just kind of let it air it out and just kind of let it dry out so it doesn't, the roots don't get too used to just being in water all the time. But it's done really well. Like I showed you earlier, another video or another part where I have another aloe vera plant that lasted about pretty much 3 years so far. And it's done really well, and I am amazed how it is. And it just kind of stunts the growth, but it's kind of cool to have a little mini aloe vera plant that doesn't get too big. So I have some, the big ones that I showed earlier in the video. And I let those grow really big, and it looks like they keep on making little baby plants. So aloe vera plants are really cool how they just come out more and more, and they're very resilient, and they have other uses for medical and any kind of topical kind of things. So, but I just wanted to show you guys how to put this little baby aloe vera plant into this Back to the Roots. And also, like I mentioned earlier, you can purchase this somewhere locally in your store somewhere. If you can't find it, I will provide a link down below in the video description, like to Amazon, and you can order it. It only cost me like $10 for this jar, but I really like how this thing works, with the self-wicking rope and the little kind of, like I said, almost like lava rocks in there. But I think it's a really cool feature of this little plant. I mean, this container, and I really like it. So I hope you guys learned something from this aloe vera plant kind of transplant into this kind of medium. You can probably put it in a pot of dirt and sand, but I think this is neat how it just kind of keeps the aloe vera plant pretty much the same size. And it looks pretty cool just sitting on your windowsill in this kind of frosted glass jar. And it's really easy maintenance. Only once a month you just change out the water and do the same thing where you put it back in there and pour the water through there and let it fill up to about halfway. And it's been doing really well for these many years. So hopefully you guys learned something. And if you have any questions, please let me know below. And I'll continue to try to make more videos on different kind of plants and anything outdoor that's cool to see. So thanks for watching, and I hope you will subscribe to my channel, and please share with your friends. Thank you again.